Welcome to Trending Update USA. I am Steffan, and today we are diving into one of the most raw, human, and important moments in tennis right now. Coco Gauff, one of the brightest stars in the game, has opened her heart, opened her emotions, and most importantly opened a conversation that goes far beyond the baseline, far beyond the rally count, far beyond aces and double faults. She said something that landed with power, honesty, and impact. Vulnerability is okay, and the best athletes in the world have vulnerable times. And those words were not scripted, they were not rehearsed, they were spoken from a place real, emotional, and deeply personal. Those words echoed in press rooms, locker rooms, stadium seats, and social media feeds around the globe. Those words reminded the world that even the strongest competitors are still human, still young, still feeling, still growing. Coco Gauff stepped into the spotlight of tennis at an age when most teenagers are still stepping into classrooms, not stadiums. She was 15 years old when she shook the tennis world at Wimbledon. It was the moment that turned heads and changed her life. A young girl defeating Venus Williams in one of the most poetic generational crossovers the sport had ever seen. The world fell in love instantly. The world expected greatness instantly. And what many did not realize at that moment, what many did not calculate, was the weight that comes with being labeled a prodigy. When the world hands you applause early, it also hands you pressure early. When the world says you are the future, it often forgets you are still in the present, still young, still developing emotionally, mentally, physically, and personally. Her journey has been anything but quiet. She has played finals, won titles, carried the flag of American tennis, spoken with maturity beyond her age, become a voice off the court for equality, confidence, identity, and has now openly spoken about emotional storms on the court. These are storms that millions of athletes, millions of competitors, millions of young people silently battle but rarely admit out loud, especially athletes who live under stadium lights where tears are mistaken for weakness, where emotion is tested harsher than movement, where being unshakable is demanded more than being unbeatable. This moment came as she spoke candidly about struggles that surfaced during competition. There were matches where frustration bubbled up, where emotions spilled over, where pressure felt louder than the crowd, where expectations felt heavier than the trophy. The cameras caught glimpses, but what they didn't catch was the inner dialogue, the mental scoreboard ticking not points but doubts, not games but expectations, not sets but self-identity. She revealed that there were moments when emotions challenged her, moments when staying true to herself challenged her, moments when being watched challenged her, moments when the pressure of winning challenged her. Instead of dodging the topic, she chose to confront it. Instead of scripting perfection, she chose honesty. To understand the power of her statement, we have to understand the environment it was spoken into. Professional tennis is glamorous from the outside. The crowds, the outfits, the deal announcements, the endorsements, the brand partnerships, the victory confetti, the viral moments. But tennis is one of the loneliest sports when the match begins. There is no teammate to tap for reassurance mid-play. There is no huddle for regrouping after a mistake. There is no substitution when emotion hits harder than fatigue. There is only one player, one racket, and thousands watching every breath, every blink, every reaction, every misstep. And inside that silence between points, the loudest battles happen. We've seen emotional moments from the biggest champions in history. Serena Williams battling frustration. Novak Djokovic tearing up mid-match. Naomi Osaka speaking openly about mental health breaks. Simone Biles stepping back from Olympic pressure, not because she wasn't strong, but because she was strong enough to choose herself. These moments were seismic because the world is not used to athletes saying, "I am struggling," at the peak of their abilities. The world is used to athletes saying, "I am strong," during the struggles, not despite them. And now Coco Gauff, still just 20, joined that rare circle, not a circle of weakness, but of truth. She said clearly she wants to continue being herself. Not just an athlete molded by public expectations. Not just a champion defined by results. But a person defined by authenticity. An athlete who will compete fiercely but feel freely. An athlete who will chase greatness without hiding struggle. an athlete who will embrace growth without suppressing emotion. Her vow was not just a press statement. It was a personal declaration. She acknowledged that vulnerability does not cancel strength. That emotional moments do not cancel greatness. That struggling on the biggest stage does not disqualify you from belonging on the biggest stage. This is important because so much of professional sport culture teaches emotional suppression. Don't feel too much. Don't react too big. Don't show frustration. Don't show doubt. Don't show disappointment. Don't show fear. Smile through everything. Win through everything. Be calm through everything. Be composed through everything. The scoreboard does not care about your feelings, but the world watching does, and yet it expects you to behave like a machine built only for wins, not emotions. But machines don't become icons. Humans do. Humans facing obstacles, pushing limits, carrying emotions, navigating identity. And Coco Gauff reminded the world that even the best still wobble sometimes. And wobbling does not mean falling. It means balancing. She didn't blame the court. She didn't blame the opponent. She didn't blame the tournament. She didn't blame the crowd. She didn't blame external noise. She acknowledged internal noise. That kind of honesty is rare. That kind of accountability is powerful. Because she took ownership of her narrative instead of letting others write it. And the reaction was immediate. Support poured in from all sides. Fans praising her honesty. Fellow players relating to her transparency. Analysts appreciating her maturity. Young athletes feeling seen. Parents appreciating the human message. Sports psychologists amplifying the importance of emotional acceptance. Social media posts quoting her courage. Viral threads praising her transparency. Headlines calling it a powerful step for sport conversations. Even casual sports watchers who do not follow tennis deeply were suddenly following this story deeply. Because it wasn't only about tennis, it was about human resilience. She has spoken before about mental strength, but this time she spoke about mental honesty. Mental truth. Mental pressure. Emotional self-preservation. She recognized that being mentally strong also means being emotionally allowed. She explained that the emotional struggles are part of the process. That pressure comes because she cares. That frustration comes because she wants to win. That emotional overflow comes because of investment, passion, discipline, desire, expectation, not just from the world, but from herself. And sometimes the biggest weight an athlete carries is not the weight of public expectation, but the weight of self-expectation. That pressure is silent but powerful. She said vulnerability is not a flaw, it is a moment. A phase. A wave. And waves pass. Identity stays. Strength stays. Purpose stays. Another key part of her message was the importance of self-identity. Tennis has historically struggled with embracing emotional honesty on its biggest stages, but this generation is rewriting the culture. Naomi Osaka opened the mental health door wider. Now Coco Gauff walked through it proudly carrying emotional honesty, not mental fragility. She is not stepping back. She is stepping forward authentically. She also emphasized that these moments learn you. They don't weaken you. They educate you. They refine you. The game shapes your skill, but struggle shapes your character. Struggle defines longevity more than talent does. Because talent introduces you, but mental endurance sustains you. She wants to compete, not break. She wants to feel, not crumble. She wants to express, not explode inward. One of the reasons her message is resonating is also because of her age. She is young enough to still be growing publicly and strong enough to grow honestly. And that is redefining what strength looks like at the professional level. There is also cultural power in her openness. American tennis is hungry for a new era. Coco Gauff is not just part of that era. She is part of its voice. She is not just building a legacy of forehands and backhands, but a legacy of emotional honesty and mental humanity. That legacy might matter even more. Because trophies will be raised, but conversations will carry longer. She said the best athletes have vulnerable moments. She did not say the best athletes collapse. She distinguished vulnerability from defeat. Vulnerability is honesty. Defeat is finality. She is not defeated. She is honest. Fans are inspired because vulnerability for them looks like bravery. Fellow athletes are inspired because vulnerability for them looks like relief. Young people are inspired because vulnerability for them looks like representation. Sport culture is shifting worldwide, not just in tennis. We also have to recognize the timing. Tennis seasons are longer. Media coverage thicker. Social platforms louder. Eyes on players younger. Pressure begins earlier. Criticism louder. Praise louder. Expectations louder. Voices louder. The athlete? Still one person. Still human. And when the noise crescendo peaks? Emotional overflow is natural. Coco Gauff used her platform to normalize that. Not dramatize it. Normalize it. This is important because it gives permission to young athletes that emotional moments do not disqualify them. They do not cancel greatness. They don't erase potential. They are just moments that need processing, not punishment. She also vowed to protect her authenticity going forward. This is key. Because sport fame often pushes personality out and performance forward. She wants both. She wants to be seen, not shaped. She wants to grow, not be carved. She wants results without losing identity. This also opens a deeper look at how sports systems treat young prodigies. The world wants young stars, but rarely asks if young stars are emotionally equipped for the spotlight they're placed into. She is speaking, not hiding. She is revealing, not breaking. She is humanizing strength. Her message gives power to emotional acceptance frameworks now being adapted by sport organizations globally, psychologists globally, and athlete management teams globally. The conversation is shifting from "don't feel pressure" to "learn to carry pressure without losing self." That is a healthy evolution. She finished with a clear message: she will keep competing as herself. She will keep growing openly. She will accept vulnerability as part of strength, not contradiction to strength. And that is the headline moment. The scoreboard of legacy has changed. Not just wins. Impact. Identity. Humanity. That is where we are right now. And Coco Gauff just added her name to the chapter that says, greatness can cry, can feel, can struggle, can wobble, can admit, and still remain greatness.